welcome to Meyer Studio Sketch Club. My name is Izzy, next to me is my dad Jason, and just behind us is my mom Cindy. Tonight we'll do 4 5-minute we'll do 4 5-minute sketches. If you're if you're happy with how they turned out, make sure to leave them in the comments. It's really, I don't know where I'm going with this. Make sure to just leave them in the comments and give the video a like. Before we get started, my dad will take a few minutes to talk about his approach before sketching starts at 7. Take it away.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. So, beginning of another week of Sketch Club, we're going to do 4 5-minute sketches tonight. So let's hop over to the iPad and take a look at the sketches, what we're going to be doing tonight. So the first one's a flower. Again, 5 minutes is not very long, so we're going to have a plan and get this thing down. One of the things that I found in sketching this is if we just worry about this forward flower here and not the other ones, then we get a nice the shadow there, that curve. Bring that through this dark, and then you can continue that if you move that shadow over like that. And so you can build this whole thing on this nice curve, which will give it a good action. We're going to really pick up on those highlights on the edge so that we have a lot of shadow down here. And then just like a cup, we're going to catch a good amount of light right there. Okay? Like always, I'm going to have my shadows be my dark. I'm going to have my light in my foreground be my lighter, my tone of the paper and my white. And then everything in the background will be gray, a medium value gray. Our 1, 2, 3. So next up is a landscape. This is a sunset landscape. And hopefully you can easily see, we can easily divide this into dark, right, versus light sky overall. And then we've got a little bit of gray clouds coming across our lightest light, right? So I'm going to make sure to give us a couple of steps back before we get to the mountains, and I'll have a couple of rows of trees, and then make sure my light's in here. All right, and that's about, we don't got much time. 5 minutes isn't much time. And I love these Mudman. I don't know if you guys like them or not, but I love these things. We want to make sure to get a nice gesture in here. Right? And again, 5 minutes isn't very long, so maybe you only have time for the head. What's the direction of that head, right? So all of this is in shadow. How is this fitting? How's the shoulders fitting in? And then we've got the front of the body and the side for the shadow, right? The same with the top and then the side of the arm. So make sure you give us those plane changes as we go away. If you have time, if you'll show him that shadow on top of this rock, that'll actually give a lot too. Again, 5 minutes isn't very long, so we don't have a lot of time. Speaking of, we've got 1 minute to look at our last one. And our last one is Ziggy. Ziggy was a beautiful pup, and what we're going to look at here is just try to get the big gesture of him. It's pretty complicated, but try to get the form of that going back. All right, you've got the top there, and then that whole head is pinching on the near side and stretching on the far side so that that neck is twisting around. We want to do our best to see if we can't show the twist of that neck. Okay, and that will be about as much time as we have. Again, these Sunday nights are fast and furious, and part of that is just so you don't have a lot of time to think. I just want you moving the charcoal, the pen, the pencil, whatever you have, and get it going, right? No time to fear or worry. a quick reminder before we get started, we do have the reference images up on the website, jasonmeyer.com. If you go over to Sketch Club, hover the mouse there, reference images will pop down. Go down, click on that, click on the image you want, and it'll pop up. And you can work on them there or take a screenshot and have them. A few of you have been asking for a donation button. That is now on the website under your support. So if you're so inclined, you can find that there. Okay, so without further ado, let us get rolling. Did I miss anything, ladies?
Nope, Shakti joined us.
Hi, Shakti.
Hi, Shakti.
Welcome, welcome.
Hey.
All right, so let's get rolling. Okie doke, here we go. So we're going to start with the flower. So if you've been doing this for a little while and you're studying with me, you know the importance of placing objects along movements or making sure that things are working the movement. So that's that first line I'm looking for there. And then I'm going to try to draw that flower around that. Okay? And remember too, we had that lesson that you want to kind of exaggerate that movement because the longer we work on this, it's going to tend to straighten out. It's just kind of a human tendency. So make sure you have a good, nice curve in there so that this flower is coming out of the background and opening up right before us to give us a personal show. It's just for us. All right? So notice how I go back and I start along that movement, right? And I start building. So this is the shadow right behind the flower. I guess that's still part of the flower, the tubular part. I don't know. Tom will have to let me know what that part of the flower is called.
Stem? Or no. That's
No, I don't think
it's-
that's the stem, but
this
I
is a
could
thingy.
be. It's a thingy?
Yes.
I don't know if that's a technical term, sweetie. Poor Izzy.
I have a birthday tomorrow, so it doesn't matter what my grammar is.
You do have a birthday tomorrow.
Me.
Happy birthday, Izzy. Little Izzy doesn't want to be a child anymore.
You say that, but at 4:09 I'm waking you up.
No.
Yes.
I was already awake 12 years ago.
So I'm just generally finding the kind of the contour, but I'm looking for the big pieces of those petals and how they fit together. And I'm in the vine charcoal here, so remember this is very forgiving, right? But even these, I try to move out of the center of that flower, right? I want to, so rather than go line to line to line, I always want to move off a center. And there's that shadow I was talking about that helps complete that gesture or that curve. Again, ideally we should be moving faster than that. I'm slow. Just warming up. Oh, look, Izzy. Shakti says happiest birthday. Oops. Thank you, Shakti.
Thanks, Shakti.
Thank you.
So there's my shadow is darker, and now I'm doing the background, which is going to be kind of light, not kind of, definitely lighter than my shadow. And notice when I did that, I knocked some of the quote-unquote shadow out. That's okay. I'm going to go back with my charcoal. Again, part of this is a process. We don't just get it right off the bat. It's a building up of relationships. At least the way I work, there's no requirement to work a certain way. Just sharing some of my thoughts. If you think differently, go for it.
Is this a new eraser?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Does it feel good?
yes.
No.
Stretches differently.
Maybe. And it matters with the temperature too. As they warm up,
They get softer.
they get softer and they actually pick up the charcoal better.
Wow.
So it's good to play with those kneaded erasers.
Do you need help? I'm right here.
I'll keep that in mind. All right, so that little edge light there, that can make a big difference because those petals are facing down. So we're going to put those in shadow, but these delicate white flowers with transparency are a little bit difficult. But this is the side that's the quote-unquote the cup that'll catch the light. So I want to put my lightest over there. And then since this is more of a form on top, then the light side's on the opposite side. You see that? In the flower, it's on the bottom. And then, I don't want to call it a stem, but as the flower tunnels down, that's a tube, and so it's on top. Hope you can see those basic general shapes. That's what I build everything off of. And now I'm just taking my charcoal and restating my shadow so it's not confused or weaker or even the same as my background or my air. Nice.
Me.
Me? I think it's nice. You're getting better, kiddo.
In a way.
Getting better. Oh, there's our time. 5 minutes. Not much time. So next, we're going to do the landscape. So these first marks represent just that dark bottom. Right? And this is the vine charcoal, so it's very forgiving. And notice when I see big, excuse me, as I see these big shapes, we can start really big and broad. And then this top corner of the sky is a little grayer too. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit there so that our lightest light will be the tone of the paper right now, and that's where we want it. And then we can build from there. Okay, so I really do try to start with the biggest pieces. Right? And sometimes you have to work for a little while to see those biggest pieces. But you really want to see those big pieces before you get too far into your work. Right? Even really before you start a work you want as a finished piece, you know, it's not a sketch or something. You want to be able to see the finish, see it simply. Then it's kind of a matter of, excuse me, reverse engineering. All right, so if this is going to be the finish, then what does this have to sit on top of? So here I'm just coming up with the, trying to get an organic tree shape there. That's going to be my dark that's going to poke over the horizon just a bit. It's going to meet the lightest light up there. And so, in a way, I'm starting at the finish, right? And then I'll fill the painting out from that point, rather than trying to work up to the finish, right? And so, sometimes this is called kind of working from the inside out. So just a slightly different way of thinking. And for any of you that are new and are going, well, what's he doing here? I'm drawing like a painter. In other words, instead of using line, I'm thinking more in terms of mass. Mass is the language of the painter, whereas people usually drawing is done with line. But most of my drawings, I'm prepping for paintings. And so even my drawings I do as mass studies. If it's not your thing, you don't have to do that. It's just what I'm doing here. Just so you can understand what's happening. So now ideally those second trees are going to be smaller than the first trees, but you see those last marks I made them the same size. That's a mistake. And trying to do a sketch in 5 minutes, you're going to have a couple of mistakes. So no big thing. Be loose and have fun.
The new comet is in.
Oh, look at all the love Izzy's getting tonight.
I'm getting more than
I
you.
did.
Haha.
Wishing you a year full of great adventures. Well, why don't we say mediocre adventures, all right? Just take it easy on Dad a little bit. She got to do a nice hike today up to the P of the at Cal Poly. If you guys know the local landscape here, with a Girl Scout troop outside. So she had a good time doing that. She says I said, how did it go? And she said, we sprinted up it. So she's definitely 12 and not closing in on 50. So Bo insisted on coming back. Well, to be honest, we insisted Bo come back. You could probably pick that up from his vibe,
No,
but
he actually had his paws
Did he?
up on my knee.
so Deb says, "Where are we? We close to the ocean?" Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're Central Coast, California. Basically, you can get to the beach about 15, 20 minutes each direction. If you went straight there, it's a little rough of a ride over some hills. So we're inland just a little bit. Yeah, San Luis Obispo, California is the city we're in. And then Cal Poly is the college in the town. And the P stands for Cal Poly. And it's a big white P that you can see all over town that the kids upkeep every year. And they actually have, well, tell them about it. You were just up there.
Well, they paint like a bunch of new layers every year, and if you look in certain spots that it's chipped, you can actually see like layers of paint, and it's really cool. It basically has a balcony at the edge, and on top of it where you can stand over it, it has this really beautiful view, and you can see all the Seven Sisters. And
So the Seven Sisters, for those of you who don't know, are extinct volcanoes that run through a valley where we live.
yeah, and it's very slick, and so I do not suggest trying to run on it, and as we did, because you can fall and slide down it.
Yes, you're supposed to sit.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
So they had a blast. We were happy they did. So as we start our Mudman here, notice I'm trying to find these big pieces. I got a little wide on that shoulder to begin with, but that's okay. This is very forgiving, that vine charcoal.
Oh, we're at Moonman.
Take your best guess and then just, try to close in from there. Deb says, I don't run.
I don't either.
Yeah. We got a non-running club in our house too. Izzy's not part of it, but
I run.
I know you're not part of the non-running club.
Well, when you run up it, it's not as steep as you think it was. There's
Yeah.
a back way that's more flat. It is at an incline, but running down it, that's fun.
So they had a blast.
Why
So you
is
see
that-
how my marks are I'm trying to go around. I'm trying to let those marks lay on top of the form, right? The three-dimensional thing that's under there. So I'm trying to feel that. And when you do that, that helps get your curves in there and helps things from getting flat. And you'll see the relations. So just a shadow on the side of the head there. Right, to kind of start getting those big forms. So the shadow in the neck. And then where does this turn into shadow on this side? The cast shadow, of course. All right, and before that arm turns over away from the light. And then part of that arm turns into the light. And then the body turns away from the light. So I'm just that light dark pattern right there. And I'm trying to keep it a simple, single shape if I can. But again, 5 minutes isn't enough time to really think too much about it. This is really more a matter of exploration. Right? So we're just practicing seeing big and seeing quickly and exploring. All right? So if they don't come out, 5 minutes, what can you expect? So again, just have fun and explore. And if you if you'll show up and do this over and over, you'll be surprised that, in a little time, in a few months, you're like, wow, these are starting to come along. I'm starting to understand. Oh, look who's here. Miss
Hey.
Marilyn Odom.
Hi, Momo.
Momo. Thank you so much. Did you see that, Izzy? Momo says happy birthday, Marilyn.
Thank you, Momo.
So now that rock, just to make some sense of what's going on, right? We've got to show that this guy's sitting down. So that's the only purpose of that rock there. Oh, look at me getting fancy, even trying to put that jug in there. I don't know what that was about. I was feeling feisty, I guess. I was feeling feisty. 5 minutes. There's not enough time for that water jug. What are you doing, Jason? I don't know. I squirreled a little bit. It's hard not to squirrel. It's hard not to squirrel. Okay, how are you guys doing tonight? You moving fast, keeping up, staying loose? Again, I really encourage you, do these along with me and stick to the 5 minutes. And then go look at the website, and if you want to work on them again or even start again and do them. But just go cold at them and just do it for 5 minutes and leave it. The exercise is so valuable, I can't even tell you. And if you've never done that before, if you don't have lots of experience drawing, it's frustrating at first because you don't have time to do anything. And that's part of it, is there's not enough time. Just start making marks. Get used to making marks, and believe it or not, you'll get better at making the marks. So that's my 2 cents, for whatever that's worth. My 2 cents, I think these days are trading for about a penny and a half, so do with it what you will.
You go that way. There, people are.
He's
Do
like,
it
yeah,
then.
no.
All right.
Uh-oh.
And that's
Time's
it.
up.
5 minutes. It goes fast.
You be a sassy dog.
It goes So Shakti says I'm drowning in the shallow end. That's all right. Drown, drown, drown. Just have fun. I used to drag my stuff into a crowded room. We all gather around a little stage, and there'd be a nude model up there, and they'd change every 30 seconds. And God, it seemed like years and years before I had anything in any of those sketches that looked like anything. It was just a wild mess for the longest time. But that's all right. I was having a good time, and believe it or not, I was learning. But it just took me a little while.
Or did it?
It did. It took me a little while. I was a slow learner. Well, truth be known, I was pig-headed, so I had some bad ideas I had to try out before I would trust that. The teacher said, hey, that might not be a good idea. Instead of
And it was not a good
not
idea.
going and spending 3 years on that, I would have said, oh, okay, maybe I could do something else. But that is neither here nor there. I ended up with a little bit of ability, and so it all comes around. All right.
Grandma's here.
Oh, Grandma. Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi, Claudia.
Claudia's here too. Don't be sorry. Just come and watch. We're glad you're here. Glad you're here. We don't want any guilt if you're not in the drawing mood. Don't worry about it.
Just relax and enjoy.
For tonight, but next time you better be drawing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow, that looks like a devil dog.
No, the structure here is it's deceiving. It's much harder than it looks. And you can see mine, and I see it at the end. I think I wipe it off at the end. But I've got that nose way too long. Or snout, I'm not sure what we call that. But again, you don't win them all. Some of them are ugly. Some of them are really ugly. But that's not the point of it. Just let it happen. Right? Get in and try. I love the saying by Maya Angelou.
Is
What?
it,
How's it?
Do the best you can till you know better. When you know better, do better.
Yep. So do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, just do better. Right? Anyway, that kind of sentiment helped me out quite a bit. Right? Nobody's asking for perfection here. I mean, it's 5 minutes. How much can you do? So have some fun. Throw some wild marks down on the paper. See what happens. See what happens.
I made an A with a line,
You made an A with a line,
but it was a fancy A.
a fancy line. Can you find the twist in the neck?
No.
Yeah. What's a twist? Is it like that? And then how else would we? So if we did that, then how could we show twist? What if that got wider there? Does that look kind of like a twist? So you can just play with those ideas like that.
You drew a line through my dog's head.
It's all right.
It's helping. Deb had a good comment. Just up a little.
Let's see. Deb says, I feel like I get as much out of watching you do it because when I go to sketch next time, I recall what you were saying. For me, it's 10. Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the advantage of this. We do it live, and we love to have you guys here, even if you're just watching, to chit chat and hang with us. But they're up on the Facebook after this. And then in addition, I always send them to our YouTube page, so they're over there as well. And then on our website, we do have the reference images up now under our Sketch Club title. Just hover your thing, you'll see reference images pop up. Go down and click on them, and then you'll see the 4 images of the week. Click on each one, and it'll go basically full screen. Sketch on it right there, or take a screenshot, then you can have it. Does it look to you guys like I misplaced that eye? By what, about 6 inches? So, right now when I was doing this, I remember I was tired. It was the end. All the cameras were set up. But you know what? Just do it wrong. Just see it through for 5 minutes. It's all right. It's all right. Like you say, you don't do them wrong, and be okay with doing some of them wrong, with doing some ugly ones. I think just about now I'm discovering, wow, I've got this thing like the length of a giraffe's neck rather than the length of a dog's nose.
But what if a dog had a giraffe's neck nose?
Well, then it would be appropriate. So you see, I just take the whole thing and wipe it off. And so it's more about discovering than anything else. And when I do that, look, we're out of time. We're out of time. So we're about to go back full screen. So how did everybody do tonight? Did some of you get some things sketched? Love you. We love you too, Claudia. Thank you. So we've got Rewind all set up and go. I've put it up to 20 minutes, so I think this is less than 2 minutes, maybe just over a minute. But watch everything happen and watch the big pieces, in particular the light, the dark, and the gray, and how I don't always do it, but I try to do my best to work from the overall rather than detail and see how these things emerge. See, this is what happens when you drink too much coffee. Right? And then as you work it, sometimes things get lost and you have to restate them. And that's part of the process, and that kind of losing and restating, for me, gives it a look, an aesthetic that I find very pleasing, and it gives it an authenticity and I think an actuality as well. But that's just me. You can work however you want. Again, trying just to feel that big mass, and what is that mass doing? Then all the lights and the shadows are decorating the doingness of those masses. How about that for some crazy language? And then here's a dog that I didn't do very good. Sorry, Ziggy. I apologize.
Where did you find Ziggy?
Ziggy is Tom's brother's dog that just passed. And so Tom is working on a tribute for him. So, and unfortunately, I did a really bad sketch. So I hope Tom will forgive me, or he went off and did something else and didn't see that. All right. So that's it for tonight, guys. We loved having you here. We hope you had some good time. We will be back Tuesday because it's Sunday
Yes.
Yep.
for 2 10-minutes. We'll be back Thursday for 1 20-minute. And so we hope to see you guys there. For you guys in class, we will be back tomorrow morning for our 9 o'clock Zoom. All right. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like us and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel as well. And we will see you guys later. Bo is done with me. So with that, we're going to go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.